You had a last day of childhood. You had a last time you ran outside, just because running felt good. A last time you cried and weren't embarrassed about it. A last time you looked at the sky and thought, wow. A last time the world felt completely, totally safe. And here is the thing that will stay with you after this video. You had absolutely no idea it was the last time. You just went to sleep that night and woke up a little different. Today on Two Sides, we are looking at two versions of the same person, the child you were and the adult you became, and the invisible moment in between that nobody warned you about. Side A. The child. Let's start with time. When you were a child, summer felt like it lasted forever. A single afternoon had room for 100 things. You could spend 2 full hours doing absolutely nothing, just lying on the floor, staring at the ceiling, and it didn't feel wasted. It felt like living. You didn't check the clock. You didn't have a schedule. You didn't think about what you had to do tomorrow, because tomorrow felt so far away it barely existed. Science says children actually experience time as longer than adults do, because their brains are constantly processing new things. Every experience is fresh, so the brain records more memories per hour, and more memories means the feeling that time is moving slowly. A child lives a full lifetime in one summer afternoon. Every day as a child was your first time seeing something, the first time you noticed how rain smells, the first time you heard a song that made you feel something. You couldn't even name. Everything was new. Everything was recorded. As a child, time bent around you. You didn't live inside time. Time lived around you. Now let's talk about how you felt. As a child, you cried loudly in public without any shame at all. Not because something terrible happened, sometimes because you were tired, sometimes because the cartoon ended, sometimes because someone looked at you funny, and 2 minutes later, you were laughing. You didn't hold on to things, you didn't replay arguments at 2 a.m. You got hurt, you showed it, and then it was done. You forgave people in the same hour you were angry at them. A child feels everything. At full volume. No filter. No performance. No I'm fine when they are not fine. You weren't performing happiness for other people. You were either happy or you weren't, and everyone around you always knew which one, because you never learned how to hide it yet. And the world itself looked completely different to you. A cardboard box was a spaceship. A garden was a jungle. A blanket over 2 chairs was a home. You didn't need expensive things to feel rich. You made friends in 3 minutes. You didn't calculate whether someone was useful to you before deciding if you liked them. You just liked them, or you didn't. And that was the whole process. You asked questions constantly. Why is the sky blue? Where do people go when they die? Why can't I have ice cream for every meal? Why do adults look so tired all the time? Nobody had told you yet that some questions make people uncomfortable. So you asked everything. You were curious about the entire world and afraid of almost none of it. The version of you at age 7 was one of the most alive, most present, most authentic humans you will ever be. And then something happened. Side B. The adult, now look at you. A week disappears before you notice it started. You blink, and it is Friday. You blink again, and somehow 3 months have passed. You check your phone constantly. Not because you are expecting something important, but because silence feels uncomfortable now. Doing nothing feels like falling behind. Science says, adult brains encounter fewer new experiences. The same commute, same job, same routine means the brain stops recording because nothing is new, and fewer memories encoded means the feeling that time is just vanishing. The same summer that lasted forever at age 8 now feels like it was 2 weeks ago. because your brain barely recorded it. You didn't lose time. Your brain just stopped finding things worth remembering. At some point, you don't know exactly when, you learn to swallow it. Someone hurt you and you said, "It's okay." It wasn't okay, but you said it anyway. You stopped crying in front of people. You started saying "I'm fine" so many times that eventually you stopped checking whether it was true. You still feel everything. You feel it just as much as you did at 7, maybe more. But you got very good at not showing it. You didn't stop feeling. You just started hiding. And then, the cruelest part, you started judging yourself for feeling too much. I shouldn't be this upset about something so small. Why am I this sensitive? I need to grow up. The 7-year-old version of you would never have said that. They just felt it. They didn't ask for permission. The puddle is just a puddle now. You walk around it without looking down. You walk past the same street every morning. And you stopped seeing it months ago. It is just the way to work. It is just background. Making new friends feels almost impossible now. You calculate before you trust. You have been disappointed enough times that the default settings switched from open to careful. You stopped asking the big questions, not because you found the answers, but because the rent is due and the deadline is tomorrow, and there are 17 unread messages, and you don't have time to wonder why the sky is blue. You became very responsible, very efficient, and somewhere inside all of that, you stopped being amazed. The science bridge. So when did it happen? Psychologists call it the age of disenchantment. It happens somewhere between age 11 and 17 for most people. The moment the world stops feeling magical and starts feeling heavy. But there is no single day, no ceremony, no moment where someone sat you down and said, "From this point forward, you are no longer a child." Science says most adults cannot identify the specific moment they became an adult. They describe it as something that just happened, gradually. And here is something that makes this even heavier. The part of your brain responsible for planning, consequences, and emotional regulation is not fully developed until you are 25 years old, meaning society forced most of us to act like adults before our brains were physically ready to be adults. You didn't choose to grow up on that specific day. It was chosen for you. By school, by pressure, by someone telling you to stop being so childish one too many times, until you believe them. The twist. But here is the thing that nobody ever tells you. The child didn't leave. They are still in there, right now. Every time you laugh so hard you can't breathe, completely, stupidly, embarrassingly, that is the child. Every time a song comes on and hits you somewhere you can't explain, that is the child. Every time you feel that gut feeling that something is wrong, even when all the logic says it is fine, that is the child, the one who felt things before they were processed and filtered and made presentable. Every time you get genuinely excited about something small, a good meal, a perfect weather day, a show you have been waiting for, and for just a second you feel it with your whole body, that is the child breaking through. The child didn't die. You just buried them, under responsibility, under appearances, under the fear of looking like you care too much. The ending. Think about the last time you did something with no goal, no productivity, no reason, just because it felt good. When was it? Can you even remember? The saddest thing about growing up isn't losing the energy. It is losing the permission to play without a reason, to not know something and be okay with it, to feel deeply and not immediately apologize for it. You had a last day of childhood. You didn't know it was the last day, but you also have today. And today, for once, you could give the child still inside you just a little bit of space. Two sides, one person, the child who felt everything, and the adult who forgot they were allowed to. Call to action. Comment one thing below. One thing your child self loved, that your adult self slowly stopped doing. I will read every single one, and if this video hit you somewhere, send it to one person today. No message needed. They will know why you sent it.